Quickly writing tip, I've been reading this book. I'm actually done with it actually. It's called the Psychology Workbook for Writers. And I came across this thing. It's called Blaming the Parents, where essentially you use these two things. One's called a driver, the other one's called an injunction, and you use them to create innate, driving forces for a character. Think about it like this. What drives your character? Okay, it's kind of playing with psychology, really. That's why it's called Psychology Workbook for Writers. But yeah, what drives your characters? What makes them tick? And could you take it all the way back to some kind of belief or trauma that is pushing them? So you start with something like a driver, which is what could their parents have told them that has now fundamentally shaped the thing that they want to achieve, the driving force, the thing that they're driven towards, whether or not it's going to take them in a positive direction or a negative one. What is driving them? The book goes into situations like parents telling their children, be strong, be brave, be good, be perfect. Of course, by the time you get to something like be perfect, you get into the realm of things that people are told when they're very young that can create these beliefs that while they're very much driving them towards something, they might not be driving them towards the best things. So even drivers are not necessarily the good things, okay? They just make the character feel good. Kind of like someone sacrificing basically everything in life to be rich, to make $1 million and whatever. Even though it might come with serious, consequences, it still fundamentally makes them feel good. Kind of like you wonder what was the driving force for Oppenheimer, for instance, that got him to the point that he was like, all right, he just kept saying yes to everything, and then eventually his child, the father of the atomic bomb, ends up being the weapon of mass destruction. And that's why the close-ups on his face when he's thinking about it are so powerful. It's him thinking about his own ambition in life and thinking, yeah, this did make me feel good. Like when we started out, it was great. Right now, though, I'm not so sure. And then we have things called injunctions. These are limiting beliefs, the things that people are told not to do. Okay, that might be for their own good and also might be causing them huge trouble in life. Things like, well, don't ever do anything to make someone feel uncomfortable, which could sound good at the start and then end up being something that makes the character basically a pushover. They can't stand up for themselves because they don't want to make someone else feel uncomfortable, which making people feel uncomfortable is an essential part of human interaction. Otherwise, you never get anything for yourself. You never actually driving towards something if you're not making someone even a bit uncomfortable. That's why the cancel culture offended crowd is insane. Like sometimes you need to say things just so that they can be said, just so that it can be said, and so that we can then deconstruct whether what you said is a complete insanity or if you've got a point, And so those are the things. Really think to yourself when you're describing a character, what are the things that their parents could have told them? This is, by the way, whether or not this character has parents. Okay, they could be an orphan, but it's like, what are the things maybe they saw when they were younger? From a possible guardian, from a situation that they thought was really life-changing, where they were like, yeah. And maybe it's something that they told themselves. Maybe it's a character who has become their own parent by virtue of not having any other strong positive sources of parenthood. Think about Emma Mackey's character, I always forget her name, in Sex Education, where it's like she's really pushing herself to be this scholar and really taking university and everything seriously because she's just like, yeah, mom was this and dad was this and even older brother is this and they're all terrible people and I don't want to be like them, and so they've become their own parents and they've put these driving and limiting notions and beliefs into their own heads. So yeah, that's the situation. I'd love to hear what you think about this in the comments. I hope this helps someone out there. I don't know if this was the best delivery, but I hope it helps. So subscribe if it did, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of videos on the channel.